I talked to Watkins again this morning. He's still standing by his original story. He claims he had nothing to do with tampering with the brake lines on your car.
Well, Lieutenant, Mr. Coleman tells me that this man Watkins has an airtight alibi for the time in question, huh?
That's right, he does. And we checked it out thoroughly.
Do you think it's possible that he might have hired someone else to do this job?
I wondered about that myself. That's why I grilled him again this morning. But I'm convinced now he had nothing to do with it. After all, what would he have to gain by lying? He's already admitted to attacking Mr. Coleman here in his office.
Yes, I see.
What's your next move?
I'm flying up to Norwich. In fact, I'm on my way to the airport right now. I'm going to talk to the local sheriff there and try to get his cooperation so that I can question Bennett Hadley again.
Lieutenant, you feel that Hadley is responsible?
He's our prime suspect at the moment. He's our only one, in fact. That's why it's all the more imperative that I question him right away. If he is our man, Mr. Coleman, that means your ex-wife is in a deserted inn with a man who's capable of murder.
Lisa, I love you. We're going to be married. I want to be with you.
And I love you too. It's just that I think that we ought to wait. It's not going to be for much longer.
It's already been too long as far as I'm concerned.
No, just a few more weeks.
But it could be much more before we get things straightened out.
And then we'll have the rest of our lives together.
The rest of our lives.
As the world turns.
It's all right.
Bennett, what are you doing here?
What's the matter? Who'd you think it was?
I didn't have time to think. I had no idea. I just woke up and then... What's wrong? What are you doing here?
Well, I certainly didn't come to frighten you. That's the last thing in the world I'd want to do.
Well...
I'm sorry.
No, don't. Please don't apologize. I'm all right. I think I'm all right.
Well, maybe you'll forgive me when you see what I brought.
Well, whatever it is, it certainly better be something after that. My Fanny, for heaven's sake. Oh, how beautiful that is. Oh, my.
Well, I thought you might want to have breakfast in bed. I know I'd enjoy having it with you.
Well, it looks so lovely. See, fresh orange juice. That's fresh, isn't it? Flour and, oh, my. Fresh from the oven. I guess Hester must have gotten up really early for this. Thank you.
Oh, actually, I got up early. I made the breakfast.
You better be careful. You know what you're going to spoil me.
Oh, I intend to. To many more mornings like this. Just the two of us. Sharing the morning and sharing everything for the rest of our lives.
Such a beautiful way to start the day.
I would just want to make you happy every minute.
It's really true. I can't wait. I can't wait for the day that we get married.
Neither can I. Hester, take care of this week. Oh, and Hester, I'd like you to plan a very special dinner this evening. I want the candles, flowers, the best linen, you know.
Dinner for how many?
2.
I see.
And when you're through serving, you can take the rest of the evening off.
Well, I don't need the evening free. I have nothing to do.
Well, there must be something that requires your attention.
No, there's nothing.
Well, then I'd appreciate it if you'd find something. After you're through serving, I want to spend the rest of the evening alone with Mrs. Coleman.
If you ask me, you are acting like a lovesick teenager.
I didn't ask you.
Well, I'm telling you anyway for your own good. You're making a fool of yourself over that woman, and she isn't even worth it.
Esther, will you take the tray out to the kitchen? Oh, and could you bring some fresh coffee down? Mrs. Coleman will be down in a minute. Oh, I heard the phone ring a little while ago. Who was it?
Dr. Bickford.
What do you want?
He wanted you to know that his nephew from New York is visiting him for a few days, and he'd like to bring him by the inn to meet you and Mrs. Coleman. I have the number right here. He called from the office.
Well, I'll just stop by when we're in town this afternoon. No need to bother to come all the way out here.
Well, he'd like his nephew to see the inn again. I told him I was sure you would want to entertain them while he was here.
Why would you say a thing like that?
Well, you've always liked having your close friends over for dinner, the few that you have, and especially when they have visitors from out of town.
At my invitation, not yours. You have no business making social arrangements for me or interfering in my life in any way, for that matter. You know, that's a very annoying habit, and it must be broken.
Well, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
See that it doesn't. Good morning again.
Hi. Oh, I thought I'd go for a walk in the beautiful gardens. Would you care to join me?
Sounds good. I'll tell you, why don't you go ahead and I'll join you after I've given Hester her instructions for the day.
All right. Oh, Mrs. Pierce, has the mailman come yet?
No, but he should be coming by any moment.
Oh, great. Well, then would you please give him these? I'd like to have the mail listed as right there, then.
You've been busy.
Oh, yes, I have. Well, I want to write my dear friends in Oakdale and just let them know I haven't forgotten about them. Okay. Hurry on now.
You go on ahead.
Oh, look at this gorgeous day. Isn't it beautiful? The leaves are so vivid, I don't remember it being so beautiful.
How can you be so blind?
Blind to what?
The sort of woman she is. She'll never be happy here.
Hester, take the tray into the kitchen.
I'm only thinking of you. What's best for you. I can't stand by and watch the same awful things happen again.
Stop it.
Do you still want me to bring the coffee in?
No, not till we get back from our walk. Oh, Hester, those letters, let me have them.
Mrs. Coleman told me to give them to the mailman.
I'll mail them when we go into town for lunch.
The way you mailed them when she was here before? You know how much trouble that caused.
Trying to reach him again. The secretary said he'd be out of the office for an hour.
Well, of course, I'm not going out, so if a call comes in before you get back, I'll take it.
I'll appreciate it. Don't want to keep my lunch date waiting, you know.
Well, I wouldn't either if I were you.
We want you to come over to dinner now sometime soon. Anytime you want to, dear, because it must be kind of lonely now that your mother's gone away.
Well, I really haven't had time to notice yet, but I do look forward to taking you up on your dinner invitation real soon.
Well, good. We'd like to have you bring Barbara, too. Just give me a little notice, and I'll make one of your very most favorite dishes.
That's a deal.
Have you heard from your mother?
Yeah, she called just a few minutes ago, and she sounded great. She said the weather in Norwich was beautiful for a change, but she missed all of us here in Oakdale.
Well, I just hope she's going to be happy there.
Well, she sounded to me like she just couldn't be any happier. As a matter of fact, I felt a little bit guilty about trying to get her to stay here to wait for Grant to come back from Haiti. From what she said, Bennett's fussing over her, and she's just enjoying every minute of it.
Yes, I expect she is enjoying that.
Honey, I think we better be going. Lawyers' times are very expensive here.
Oh, but I get a special rate in this office. Grant, we want you to come over to the house soon.
I look forward to it.
Good.
I'll see you all later.
All right.
Have a nice lunch.
Oh, I'm sure we will, thank you.
Tom, Lisa really sounded all right?
Oh, yeah, she sounded fine.
Well, I'm afraid she's in for a very unhappy experience this afternoon.
What are you talking about?
Lieutenant Lewis is on his way to Norwich. In fact, he should be there now.
What for?
Well, he's convinced the man Watkins is telling the truth when he says he has no part in tampering with my brakes. He wants to question Bennett again.
And he's going all the way to Norwich to do that?
Bennett is the only suspect he has right now, and he feels he needs the help of the local sheriff because it's outside his legal jurisdiction.
Well, maybe we should call Mom. Have you already done so?
No, I haven't. No, Tom, look, she would warn Bennett, and I don't want him to, have any time to come up with any fancy stories at all. I really fear for Lisa if it turns out that Bennett is the one who tampered with my brakes.
Well, but certainly Lewis doesn't expect him to admit it.
I don't know what he expects. I just know he wants to get all the information he can.
Well, for Mom's sake, I hope he's wrong. If he isn't, I don't know what it would do to Mom. She really loves Bennett.
I know. Look, I don't want to make Lisa unhappy, but if there's any chance that Bennett Hadley's jealousy is wild enough, and it has been, to attempt murder, he could just as easily turn on Lisa.
Bennett, be sure to remind me to get some film when we're going to town. I want to make sure I take pictures, loads of pictures of all the beautiful colors here, because honestly, I'm going to send that back to Oakdale.
The leaves are turning in Oakdale, too, you know.
Oh, well, I know, but it can't be as beautiful as it is here. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it is, but it just seems extra pretty to me. I guess it's because I'm looking at everything with different eyes. I don't know. And you know what else I feel? I feel like I'm living in a wonderful dream of some kind, and I'm so afraid I'm going to wake up and none of it's going to be real.
It's real, Lisa. It's all real.
I'll take the coffee service if you're through.
Thank you, Mrs. Pierce.
Will you want anything else?
No, we're going into town, sir.
Before you go, you should know that Dr. Bickford called again while you were out walking. I told him you were unavailable.
I'll call him now. Excuse me.
Sure. Oh, be sure to say hello to Dr. Bickford for me.
I will.
Mrs. Pierce, did the postman come?
Yes, he did.
Oh, good. Did he leave any mail for me?
Not that I noticed.
I guess it's asking too much. I mean, this soon. Well, I think I'll go upstairs and freshen up a bit before we go into town.
Hello, Henry. It's Bennett.
Mrs. Coleman?
Yes?
Could I speak to you for a moment?
Well, yes, of course.
Well, I hope that you won't think that I'm interfering.
Well, what is it?
Well, I think you should know that Dr. Bickford has a nephew visiting him from New York, and he'd like to bring him out here to the inn to meet you.
Well, I think that's lovely. I love to meet new people.
Oh, you like the idea?
Oh, I love it, of course.
Well, see, I assumed that Mr. Hadley would want to have them out here to dinner, and so I mentioned it to Dr. Bickford. But when I spoke to Mr. Hadley about it, he said he was afraid you might be bored, so he's not going to ask them.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be bored at all. I'd love it.
Well, I thought that might be the case.
Of course. I'll take care of it. I'll see to it they're invited.
Well, you won't tell Mr. Hadley that I said anything.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, Lisa's here now. She already has her divorce. As soon as I get mine, you'll find a wedding invitation in your mail. Yeah, we'll stop by and see you, Henry. Good to talk to you. Bye-bye.
What did Dr. Bickford want?
Oh, just to say hello.
And is that all he said?
No, he said his nephew's in town, Derek. He's going to be here for a few days.
Isn't that nice? I would love to have them out here for dinner one evening.
Oh, I don't know if that's necessary, darling.
Oh, don't you understand, Benny? I really would like it. Don't you see, sweetheart, I want to start getting used to being a hostess for you.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, I'm going to go upstairs, freshen up. I'll be ready in just a minute.
I saw you whispering her to while I was on the phone, Hester. If I find that you were
You dropped this. I was only distracting her so she wouldn't see it.
Grant, here's the Ferguson brief. Grandpa said you wanted it.
Oh, yes, good time, yes. Thank you.
Have you heard from Lieutenant Lewis yet?
Yes, I got a call from his office, and they said that he called in and said that he was delayed in Norwich because he hadn't been able to talk to Bennett yet.
What do you think that means?
I don't know. I just hope that Bennett didn't get wind of Lewis's arrival and decided to skip out.
Well, do you think we should call Mom?
I tried. I called the inn and talked to a woman I assume was the housekeeper. She said that Lisa wasn't there. Bennett wasn't either. And she didn't know when they would be back.
You have to get used to the idea, though. I haven't been in the country in such a long time. I really have to
What's the matter,
watch
Hester?
where...
I'm glad you're back. There's some people waiting to see you.
Who?
Sergeant Hargraves is here, and a police detective who's flown up from Oakdale.
Bennett, how are you? Good to see you again.